Hi, this is Dustine from Two Lucky Cats, and I'd like to talk to those of you who don't have a lot of experience with hand stitching. I want to demonstrate two stitches for you that you'll need to know to do the projects that I've designed. These stitches are the running stitch and the overcast stitch, and they're used both as part of the construction as well as part of the embellishment or decoration. Before we start stitching, we have to put a knot at the end of the thread, and the way that you do that is use your finger that's next to your thumb and then hold the thread down with your thumb and wrap it around your finger, and then roll the thread off your finger and then pull the thread down, and that'll form a knot. Alright, I want to demonstrate for you how to do the running stitch, and there's two different ways you can do it. One is you come up, start from underneath, and then come back here and push your needle through the fabric and just go in and out, and then pull your thread through and go back and go in and out, pull your thread through. And this is one way that you can do the running stitch. The second way that you do the running stitch is, again, you start from underneath and you stab down through, pull your thread through, and then you come up from the bottom and then make another stitch, and then you stab through, back up again, and make another stitch, and so on and so forth. And the reason I like to do it this way is you have greater control over the size that you make the stitch and then the distance between each stitch, which is a little bit harder to do when I'm trying to do it upside down. But essentially, this is how you do the two stitches. Now, sometimes with a running stitch, I add beads. So let me show you how I do that. Get some beads out here. Alright. Now again, I'll come up through the bottom, and a lot of times I'll just start stitching with a bead. So all I do is pick up a bead, and then I bring this stitch, make a very short stitch right up close to where I came in to hold the bead on. And then I'll come up and make a stitch, and then I'll come up again, get a bead, and then again put the stitch right down close to where I came up to add another bead. And then I can just continue to do that. Make a stitch, and then come up again and make a short stitch and put a bead on it. And you can do that to outline an object, or for example, if I put a vein in a leaf, I do the same thing to add definition and decoration to a vein in the leaf, or I can outline a certain shape. So, and also you can vary the distance between the beads or how many stitches you have. There's a lot of different patterns that you can do to give your project a different look. Now, another thing that I'll do with beads is to make the beads look like they're floating on the surface of the fabric. And again, I'll come up from underneath, and then I'll get a bead, and I'll come down close to where I came up. But then on the other side, I'll make a big stitch here underneath. And then I'll just get the bead and put it in, and then underneath make another big stitch, and then put a bead on. So I'm moving from stitch to stitch underneath, and then just making a small stitch to hold the bead on. So you can do this either in a regular pattern, or you can do it in a random pattern, but that's another technique you can use with the running stitch. Alright, the next stitch that I want to demonstrate for you is called the Overcast stitch. And this is a stitch that's good to use with felt because you don't have to worry about felt fraying. You don't have to make a hem or stabilize it like you'd have to do if you were using other types of fabrics. So I want to demonstrate here on these two hearts. And when I start the Overcast stitch, I always start in between and come up through the one side because you want to hide the knot here in your thread. And then I hold it with my two fingers like this, and then I'll pull the stitch over and hold it down with my finger, and then I'll come up again a little bit, maybe 1/4 of an inch, and then I'll pull it over and then make another stitch. And then I'll just keep on doing that around whatever the pattern is that I'm trying to sew together, the two pieces. Now, the other thing that you can do is also add beads to this as an embellishment. So usually what I'll do is I'll just start out with a bead and put it through here to the other side. And then I usually just push the bead up with my finger and then kind of move it along, and then go 1 stitch, 2 stitch, and then get a bead and do 3 stitch and push the bead up. So you can either just use the plain stitches or add beads. You can use the smaller beads. I like it every 3 stitches, but if you're really a glutton for punishment, you could always do a bead every stitch. And you just continue on around until you're back where you started, if you want to finish off whatever you're sewing together. And that's all there is to do the Overcast stitch. If you'd like, you can go to our website, twoluckycats.com, and download the instruction sheet that comes with this video. While you're there, look at all the other ideas and projects that we have to share with you. So come and visit us often at twoluckycats.com.